Hello and welcome back to Opportunity Knocks. Yes, Opportunity knocks for you and me every day, but can we see it? It's Friday, the end of another week. I've done my research, I've condensed it down, so these are my thoughts and my opinions on my readings and my study. I've looked at Google charts as well as a number of articles which newspapers, magazines and the companies themselves put out. I'm here in Bus Studio with the window down because I need some of that fresh wind. I'd like to talk to you about wind energy. It's clean, but it is also costly. To purchase a windmill, now this is just an example of a windmill, it takes around 15 years to pay it back. That's a long time. But apparently, they are getting better. The modern windmills produce 180% more electricity than they did in the past. Wow, that's starting to sound pretty good, and it's getting my interest. So if farms are able to produce more electricity out of the same wind, then I would think in the future they're going to create more electricity still out of the same wind. Is it a good investment? When you think about renewable and sustainable, yes, it would be a good investment to invest into the environment, because a lot of energy being created today comes from fossil fuels. As we know, that's polluting. Whereas the wind is sustainable, it's renewable, and in New Zealand, it happens almost on a daily basis. So the good news is we have lots of wind. The bad news is fossil fuels will eventually run out. I'd like to think of investing into something that looks after the environment rather than working against it. So there it is, choices. We're always surrounded with choices. Opportunity knocks. Do we listen or do we ignore? Wind farms, on one hand, do offer some opportunities for you and me because the world needs more electricity. With the way that real wages are going up and land prices are going up, it's going to cost more and more to produce new wind farms. So the ones that are existing are ahead. Investing now could be a good point for your future. Looking at the stock price, New Zealand wind farms were 10 cents 5 years ago. Today, they're 12 cents. Doesn't seem like a lot, 20% increase in 5 years. But when you consider that the wind farms are paying themselves off, eventually they're going to start making some profits. I would think in another 5 years' time at least, these stock prices are going to be looking at around 20 cents. That's not too bad when you think of it. There are other areas you can invest. You could make more. But if you want to think environmental, it's looking okay. So that's it from me. Wind farms, harnessing energy, wind energy, it's clean, but it's expensive. But slowly, the companies are making profits, and eventually they will give a dividend. And if you're in the game, you're going to make something. If you're out of the game, you're just going to be a consumer.